For the first time in the Tian world, Zhuge, a newcomer, felt the magic of the Go world. Without needing any further guidance, he actively controlled the white Go pieces to rapidly merge with the black Go pieces. Looking at the already manifested Go space, Cloud Elder, who was standing by, showed a delighted expression. It seems that his luck was really good. The fact that their own Go table had been successfully opened so quickly meant that it was likely that their Dao Ran Go Academy would soon have 2 more disciples. Cloud Elder declared loudly, the third match of the entry-level Go Rank 7 table at the Dao Ran Go Academy begins. The 2 players are Li Ti from the black team and Zhuge from the white team. Cloud Elder's words were clearly heard by Zhuge, who was now immersed in the Go game. His eyes had lost their previous surroundings, and the Go game world had already provided him with a lot of information. The randomly chosen battlefield for this match was a small plain, and Zhuge followed the instructions and began to prepare his moves. With a thought, Zhuge saw a vast starry sky before him, and his Go soul power, following the memories he had learned, began to guide the Go pieces according to his thoughts. This was a pale white pawn, with a group of peasants in rough linen clothing appearing on its surface. The pawn emanated a pure white aura of fate. Above it was inscribed the name. The name was, Peasants. This was a perfectly ordinary white peasant pawn. However, every hand of star space manipulation had a fixed time, and as a newcomer to the game, being able to manipulate a white pawn was already quite good. Zhuge was not disappointed, feeling that the remaining time was not much. He did not make any further attempts, and used his mental power to take the pawn. According to the rules, he placed the white peasant pawn on one of the white pawns on his own side of the board. The identical white pawns now had the image of a peasant on one of them. Soon, Zhuge realized that he was playing in the star space. With his right hand holding the pawn, he thought for a moment and threw it towards an empty spot near a source of water on his own plane. Instantly, the empty space above the chessboard and the virtual space above the chessboard appeared to be a plain area with about 100 peasants. As soon as the pawn was placed, the peasants began to build a village on the spot. While the peasants were building the village, Zhuge began to close his eyes and breathe deeply. On the one hand, the first time he manipulated a pawn was still a bit taxing for him as a beginner. On the other hand, he needed to conserve his energy for the upcoming battle. On the other hand, since they can't see their opponent's situation, the villagers might as well take the time to rest and recuperate. On the outside, Sun Shixiang was able to clearly observe the entire game from the perspective of a spectator. The reserve hand is the main camp deployment of both players after they enter the game, which is generally not special. With his understanding of beginner's chess, these 2 disciples could definitely not play anything fancy. Indeed, this disciple named Zhuge, as Sun Shixiang had predicted, only pulled the white villagers. Regardless of the 3 types of chess pieces, namely the common people pieces, hero pieces, and state pieces, they are all divided into white, red, yellow, purple, and gold by their own different fortunes and pulling. Pure white is the lowest level of common people pieces. On the other hand, Li Tian's reserve hand pulled white and red mixed barbarians, which is definitely a good opening for a new beginner. However, just as he thought that the 2 would follow the normal progress of the game, an unexpected event occurred. First, there was the somewhat impatient Li Tian, who appeared when the first hand of pulling began. Several chess pieces appeared, and among them was a yellow fortunate chess piece. Li Tian did not hesitate to start pulling the appearing yellow chess piece. Seeing this, Sun Shixiang sighed, knowing that Li Tian's pulling in this hand would fail. As expected, when Li Tai decided to pull the yellow piece, he sweat profusely to make the pull successful, but he still fell short. Ultimately, he was unable to pull the piece, and regrettably, he made no progress in the first hand. On the other hand, Zhuge's side also appeared several pieces, emitting different lights, which surprised Sun Shixiang was that this junior brother who had performed poorly in the preparatory hand also appeared a yellow piece during the tug-of-war. However, what impressed Sun Shixiang was that this junior brother seemed to have a better sense of moderation, as he only pulled a red piece. Of course, Sun Shixiang did not know that Zhuge was overjoyed when he saw the red piece about to be pulled by him, as the name on the piece was Hero Chess Spirit, Zhuge Village Elder. Zhuge Yi's first-hand tug-of-war was indeed lucky, as 5 chess spirits appeared, all of which were hero chess spirits. There was 1 yellow, 2 red, and 2 white chess spirits. For a beginner's first hand, it was a very good start. Zhuge Yi's first priority was to look at the yellow lucky chess spirit, which was hero chess spirit, Hmong army general. A middle-aged general in war armor and a bronze sword, with an imposing presence, appeared in the light ball pulled by him. Zhuge had a good understanding of the history of China, and immediately recognized the person in this outfit as a general of the Qin dynasty from his appearance. Combining the name on the chess spirit above, he had a rough idea that this was an army captain of the Qin dynasty with the surname Meng. In the game of Tian, when one is not familiar with a hero or the ability of a chess spirit and one's chess spirit power is not sufficient, the name one receives is not reliable at all. In the eyes of Zhuge, this was like opening a blind box. Meng army captain, it was very possible that he was indeed an army captain with the surname Meng, or perhaps a legendary figure like Meng Tian who was displaying his abilities at the rank of an army captain. Therefore, this hero chess spirit was considered a decent one, but when he glanced at the second hero chess spirit, his eyes were glued to it. Hero chess spirit, Zhuge village man. Perhaps others had some thoughts about the tall man with only red fate energy, wearing rough clothes and looking no different from a common villager in front of him. At most, he looked a bit handsome, and even if someone really couldn't pull out this chess spirit, they might just look at his body and use him as a decent small commander. But Zhuge was different. Zhuge village man. Perhaps this title is not very pleasant to hear, but over the past 5,000 years in China, there is no one who can match this title, coupled with this 8-foot height and fair complexion, besides the prime minister of the late period in Hugong Longzhong, Mr. Zhuge. As mentioned earlier, the fate ranking system may determine the quality of the chess spirit, but it is mainly determined by the current situation. As for how the player uses it afterward, it can change in countless ways. After seeing the Zhuge village husband chess spirit, Zhuge didn't even bother to look at the subsequent few chess spirits. He was afraid that the time would not be enough, and immediately began to exert all his effort to pull the only red chess spirit. Fortunately, Zhuge made a decisive move, and just as the starry sky was about to close, Zhuge managed to pull it off just in time. A flash of red light passed, and Zhuge immediately inserted the hero chess spirit Zhuge village husband into the white pieces in front of him. Looking at the sweaty and annoyed little fat boy on the other side of the chessboard, Zhuge didn't think much, picked up the white piece that had just been activated by the hero chess spirit, and dropped it on the plain village in the chess space. When he dropped the piece, he began to recall in his mind the image of the scholar with a feather fan and a silk belt, who was lying down and meditating in Longzhong during the late period. This step is called resonance, and the strength of any hero chess spirit is not entirely fixed, and in fact, most of it is not determined by the spirit itself, but by the resonance ability of the player and the hero chess spirit. Just like now, Zhuge used his own understanding of Zhuge Liang to resonate with Zhuge Liang's early life, although due to time and chess soul power limitations, the resonance was only at a shallow level. And at the last moment of placing the stone, he appointed Zhuge Liang as the leader of the newly built village. As Zhuge was amazed by his own luck, the Yun Xiongshi in the audience was confused. He could understand and appreciate Zhuge's giving up the yellow chess spirit, because new trainee chess players often lack chess soul power and it is difficult to pull off a successful resonance. But there are differences in resonating with red chess spirits as well. Unlike Zhuge, who only looked at 2 chess spirits and decided to resonate with them immediately, Yun Xiongshi had watched all of Zhuge's resonance with chess spirits. The remaining white chess spirit is not mentioned, but among the 2 red chess spirits, one is a common villager named Zhuge village husband, and the other is a clearly superior butcher named Fan Taurus. In particular, this Fan Taurus has been argued and practiced by many high-level traditional chess players, and is definitely a brave general. Even online, there are already many advanced versions of this Fan Taurus. He did not believe that his uncle, a famous general chess player, would not know about the Fan Butcher. As a result, he chose a Zhuge peasant, who had also appeared in his own previous games. As a chess academy student, one must have their own research on various chess spirits. But after using it a few times, he completely abandoned it. His martial arts skills were average, he was skilled at using swords, and he often died in a charge. It was a shame for such a tall figure, and it was not recommended to use. This is the research report on Zhuge peasant that Xiao Yongjie wrote in his notebook. During Xiao Yongjie's contemplation, the chessboard had already passed 2 moves, and the central barrier separating the 2 sides had disappeared, indicating that the battle was about to begin. 3 moves later, the battle began. Xiao Yongjie noticed that after the next 2 moves, Zhuge 1 did not have any highlights, but instead, he drew a white peasant spirit in the second move and drew 2 white peasant spirits in the third move. On the other hand, little fat Li Tai learned from the first move and drew 2 red hero spirits in the next 2 moves, all of which were tribal chiefs and tribal priests who complemented the barbarians he had prepared. Yun Xiongshi saw this, especially when the second hand saw Li Tai successfully pulling the red Chongqing chess spirit of the barbarian warrior again. He revealed a satisfied smile. In a row of 4 moves, all of them were barbarian forces, with a very high degree of compatibility, and Li Tai was well aware of the advantages and disadvantages of his own barbarian forces. He ordered a full-scale attack in the 4th move, intending to use the powerful initial combat strength of the barbarians to quickly break through the opponent's defenses. When the 5th move was made, Li Tai again dropped a piece with a barbarian warrior attacking, and he abandoned his own main camp and chose to attack instead of defending. He directly placed the piece on the front line of the battlefield, with the barbarian leader as the arrowhead and the barbarian priest as the commander, and launched an attack on the white pawn village that had already built a small village. On the other hand, Zhuge looked at the aggressive Li Tai and did not rush. As usual, he led the most basic villagers, and even abandoned a red hero spirit to choose 2 white villagers. Li Tai did not know that Zhuge Liang had arranged his main camp very well under his command. Not only was it well organized, but he was delighted to find that Zhuge Liang had already developed a high level of command and formation ability. He arranged the buildings of the entire village in an 8 formation with great ease, and after 5 rounds of development, the village is no longer the ordinary village that Li Tai had thought of as a place to be exploited. When Li Tai dropped another aggressive barbarian piece on the board, a confident expression appeared on his youthful face. However, his elder brother Yun, who was observing the game from the sidelines, noticed something different. Something is about to change in this game. The basic rules of Tian Encyclopedia. The board is divided into 5 ranks, each rank has 5 colors, and they are arranged from bottom to top in the order of white, red, yellow, purple, and gold.